Any good Chris Benoit stories? What can you
I
tell me
just
about the man?
well, it's just funny because somebody in our mailbag last week, somebody asked some stories about like, could you see the mental could you see anything in Chris Benoit beforehand that would think that he would do something like that? It's like no, but he was quirky. Like
Right.
he did have this thing. It's like but somebody said like, "Where's Benoit?" And like Mark Madden had this like thing. It's like, well, he goes, we'll go to the coffee machine. He's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, if he's not at the coffee machine, he's walking around because he would walk around the inner part of the arena.
Right.
He would walk around, stop at the coffee machine, get a cup of coffee, walk around drinking, finish the cup, stop at the coffee machine, get it. Bro, he drink like 10 cups a day. But that would be his like ritual. He would just like walk around and drink coffee like in the arena. It's kind of quirky, but like
Right.
it's like, but he had like, but nothing that we would think that. But he wasn't kind of like he was a little different. He's just very quiet, very respectful, very just he was quirky. I pass it off as just being Canadian because Canadians to me are quirky. So
Awesome. Before we go, can you tell me about booking? How'd you start booking for WCW?
me and Russo had sat next to each other on a plane ride one time, and we just had each other's ear. And he just liked my philosophy, and then like a couple weeks later, asked if I wanted to come sit in the meetings. I was like, all right, yeah. And I always had like I was an idea guy. Like that's the one thing about, but I had always had outside the box ideas. Like anybody can sit there and book, plagiarize angles that have been done before. But I would always have kind of like news stuff, and sometimes the stuff they wouldn't even think of doing stuff. But it was just always ideas. So a lot of misses, but some hits. But that's kind of what you need in a booking meeting sometimes. If you ever booked before, bro, sometimes the worst thing is when everybody's got writer's block. You can't come up with anything.
Right.
So but I was kind of just like an idea guy and stuff, just, hey, what do you think of this and stuff? And,
Can you give me an idea what made the TV? You say that's a disco idea?
well, the whole Lance Storm, when he came in and was kind of like the, I could be serious for a minute and stuff like that. That was, when we gave him his big push, like every week we were just like, well, let's just keep pushing this guy. But back then it was like, in wrestling, you came in, you had like a debut match, then you go like 50-50 against guy. Yeah. I said, let's push a guy. He's brand new. I was like, just keep pushing him until, like, why would you, if he's getting over, why not try to keep getting him more over? And like, so the thing was, we just kept pushing. It's like, why don't we just give him all the belts? Like he's a U.S. champion. He's in the tag champion. He's the freaking the hardcore champ, right? And the funny thing, like I said, let's call it the Saskatchewan Hardcore International title, right? And everybody says like, and because the initials be SHIT, right? And it's funny, so we changed it to the Stu Hart International title. But it's funny when we said that on TV, instead of like letting everybody figure the joke out themselves.
Right.
Like that, we said that like last year was a Stu Hart international title, and like Mark Madden had to give the punchline right off the bat. Like, well, I hate to see those initials. Right. So I was like, oh man, it's like, geez. But yeah, that was some stuff in mine, and plus two, I get credited with stuff that was not my idea. Right, like everybody says, Bill Ding, the evil architect. That's 100% Terry Taylor. Well, it was Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor's idea, 100%. And Terry will admit it too, because he was proud of it, right? And everybody thinks I wanted to for a shoot, wanted to put the Invisible Man on TV and have Martian invasions, and those were all just jokes that we did in the booking meeting. Like, I would show up like 15 minutes early one day, and we had the big giant pad that you flip up and everything, And I wrote out like a 6-month angle of Martians invading and stuff and everything and all that. It ends with the pay-per-view called 2001: A Space Odyssey on January 1st, 2001. And like I presented it like as a joke, and everybody but Taylor thought it was hysterical because he was like, "Why are we wasting time with this?" But that kind of got out that I was like, but bro, and just to think is like, you got to be. This is how stupid you got to be to think I was being serious. Part of the angle was at the announcer's desk. 2 antenna would pop out like a Martian pop out of Mike Tenay's head. Okay, and that was part of. like we're gonna actually do that on TV. It's like you need CGI, you know, stuff like. So it's like if you did not realize that's a joke, it's like how stupid are you? You know, it's like Jesus. So yeah. But then the Invisible Man, I was always like, I did say that if there was like a character on the show that was kind of like, you know, back then I think they had Eugene was in New York, right?
Okay.
I said, what if we had a character like Eugene here? And two heel characters screwing with the guy because he's kind of mentally challenged. We're trying to convince him there was an invisible man, and we're setting up traps and tricks for the guy to like make it look like there's an invisible man to try to dupe the dumb character. You know, like the way for two heels. And I still think that would work if you had a character like that, like kind of like a mentally retarded character or something he didn't understand. Like he thinks there's a invisible man. It's like we could do that to get two heels, and get some heat on the get some heat on some heels of that. So you know. But to actually say there's an actual invisible man, right? That's like no, of course not. You know,
you didn't book a match, Elix Skipper versus the Invisible Man. You never,
of course not. Right. And then actually play it off like there's the character is an invisible man. It's like no, it's just so whatever. But people don't get that. Yeah.